why marriage? I actually asked the same question a whole lot after I got married, before I got married. And if you hear my child, she is doing her thing behind the scenes. And something I had to actually come to an agreement with, and what made me really start admiring my marriage personally and start really advocating for marriages and being a wife from foremost, is because God created marriage. I know, don't click off so quickly just yet. I am getting somewhere with this. But really think about it. The first thing he created was marriage, outside of the earth and the heavens and the animals and stuff like that. And as he pretty much compares the church and Jesus, the whole thing, he put us in the same category as marriage. He always talks about the bridegroom. He's the bridegroom as he's coming back for the bride. Marriage is very deep. And even now today, I'm still learning how powerful marriages are, which is another reason why I am also advocating for marriage, because marriages hold a lot of power, because 1 and 2 are together. There goes Jesus. God respects marriages so much, and the covenant, anyways, it's just a whole bunch of power that's within a marriage. And me personally, even before knowing that, I even experienced it twice in my marriage. 1 for my daughter, because I thought I couldn't get pregnant, and 2 when we moved, when we was not qualified to move. So to me, when me and my husband got on one accord, both times, also was starting a business, we're still learning how to work through that, we both witnessed how powerful we are when we are on one accord. So to me, when God creates something, it's like beyond what the world is teaching with the legalistic stuff and the politics and stuff like that. No, this is God's gift. This is God's creation, and it's something deeper than what is being shown on the surface, than writing an agreement or saying I do at the altar. So yes, God created marriage, meaning it is beautiful. Another reason why I believe marriage is beautiful is because as women, we actually are naturally created to be wives. So as you know, Adam and Eve, Adam was made first. We was made for the rib, very particular and all that stuff. We wasn't made from the dust like Adam. We was made from a rib, y'all. We was made from a rib. We was dealt with like God had to put him a deep sleep and really cultivate us while he just blew some air in Adam. So we are created in a very unique way that men cannot do things by themselves. But I'm not going to get too ahead. But as wives, we are created to, as women, we are created to be wives. We are created to be helpmates. And no, being a helper is not a bad thing. And think about the help that a business has. An accountant, human resources, employees, and marketers, and developers, and investors, and all these things. So don't take that word lightly, because it's a beautiful, beautiful gift to cultivate. And besides, we are already doing it on a natural basis. We are already cultivating our gifts on a natural basis. It's just that not most of the time it's not with our husbands. It's either with a situation, it's either with our friends or our job. Regardless of what it is, we are activating our gifts somewhere, because that is who we naturally are. So imagine if you had a husband to do this with. Don't get me wrong, I know. You're trying to find one. We're going to get that in the future. We're going to deal with that later, ladies. But today we're talking about why marriage is so important. So just know that if you desire to be a wife, trust me, that it is possible starting today. Because if you do not strive to be a wife, then what? Once again, you might strive to continue working for your job, working for your boss, doing this, doing that, doing some flings, this, that, and third. But one day you're going to get older. And to be honest with you, I'm actually grateful for my journey, because I actually did not want to get married. I was brought up in a very unhealthy marriage. So to me, marriage was never a thing. To me, marriage was all about rules and controlling from the man. But believe it or not, it's nothing like that. And especially if you do it God's way. But if you don't strive to become a wife, then what? You're going to continue being a single woman, continue on doing your thing in the club and all that stuff. Like one day you may just get a little tired, that you may just want to sit back and put your feet up with someone that you can cuddle with. You know what I mean? So I just feel like just start striving to be a wife today. Like, I don't know how old you are, but start striving to be a wife now. And that is what this journey is about, becoming that wife, because you do not have to wait till you get married to become a wife. I really suggest that you become a wife before getting married, because believe it or not, every married woman is not a wife, and every woman can get married, but she never becomes a wife, and you can be a wife before getting married. So yes, I hope I said that clear and good enough for you. But yes, so please understand that, wrap your head around it. Just like the Bible says, who can find a virtuous wife? When a man finds a good wife, he finds a good thing and obtains a favor from the Lord. So that means she was already a wife before she became somebody's wife. So I believe in alignment, I believe in preparation, I believe in being in position so you can receive your husband, because if you was to see your husband and you out there doing all types of things, he ain't gonna marry you. So I highly suggest that you become a wife now, so when your husband is ready to look up and you're ready to look up, you can say, okay, yes, let's do the darn thing. And you ain't gotta worry about getting healing and deliverance. Just start today. Another thing that I also want to clarify why marriage is important is because men are human beings too. I know women think that men do not want to get married, but men actually do want to get married out here, y'all. They really do want to find a good thing. They really do want to build something with someone continuously. Like they get tired too. And if the men that you're bumping into is not considering marriage, then that means you just kissing a few frogs. But just continue on striving to becoming a wife, and continue on, keep trying, keep knocking it out. At least you're learning what you like and don't like. But men are not meant to be alone no matter what. And the more woman that decides to become that wife, the more the men will have to step up and raise their standards. The more that they will have to say, okay, you know what, these women out here ain't joking, so let me step my game up, you know what I mean? But men are not supposed to be alone. They cannot do that. I mean, we all can do things alone. We really can, but we're human beings. We're meant to love. Like, God is in us and God is of love. And like, God could have just been alone too, but you know what I mean? He made us to continue on loving and spreading his love. And some of us make wrong decisions, but you know, that's a whole nother story. But I'm saying is men are not supposed to be alone. So just don't look at men as villains. They are not villains. They are not the enemy. They are human beings. They have feelings. They're actually more emotional than us, for real, for real. As women, we could take a few hits, but men, they get hit and they be ready to cry on the sofa for weeks. So please, please just know, men are babies out here, and trust me when I say they are not as hard as they seem. It's an art to this, it's a dance to this, it's a process to this, and the more you know yourself and the more you learn how to communicate, matter of fact, the more that you develop the skills, the behavior, and the tools, the more you'll know how to enter into this new world of relationships. And that is actually what my program is about. If you want to join the waiting list, it's down below. But my program is to help a single woman transition, not just a single one, a Miss Independent, strong-minded single woman transition to becoming that wife, because it's a dance in that situation. It's a transition. It's not just a point A to point B. Okay, you're single one day and then you're in a relationship next day. That's not how it works. There's a whole situation that we missed. There's a whole dance that we did not learn. So that is what my program is to help you with. If you are interested, you know, apply, join the link. I don't know what I have down there by the time I upload this video, but just click the link down below. But there is a dance to this. There's a process, and you know, you just have to learn it. Another reason why marriage is very, very important is because of our kids. Our kids deserve to be brought up in a healthy, stable home. One of my reasons of making sure my marriage is on good standing is because of my child. My child deserves to be in a healthy home. My child deserves to see a wife as her mother. My child deserves to see her father as God continue on keeping us together. God, you know, us on earth, as God see her father as a husband. You know what I mean? She sees the love. She sees something that is bigger than herself. She's being cultivated by both parents. And when I tell you, the smiles that's on her face is literally something to fight for when you and your marriage is ready to go away in shambles, even though we don't get to that point. But thank God we don't, because I do a lot of personal development, and so does my husband, because that's all marriages is, a lot of personal development and serving and stuff like that. But when my daughter has that smile on her face, it makes everything worth it, and it turns everything else off that I don't, you know, that doesn't make sense. So yes, definitely keep the love strong. Definitely, I feel, Okay. She stank. Oh, she pooped. Oh, let me hurry up. So another thing that I believe why marriage is important, because it represents God's love. It actually says in 1 Peter chapter 3 that wife, submit to your husband as the church submits to Jesus. And when I think of the word submit, I think about the word respect. Because as women, let's be real, and give me a like if this is you. How many of y'all say, I could do this by myself? I don't need no man. So the Bible don't put stuff in the Bible just for fluff. It has a reason. So why did God have to mention wives, respect your husband? Because he knows us. He knows we get a little hot-headed. He knows that we are a little too strong for ourselves, and we be like, listen, and to be honest with you, we can do it for ourselves. I remember before when my husband asked me on a date, I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't ready to date. But my manager was like, okay, D, I got it. You can do it all by yourself, but can you do it with somebody else? That question threw me off. I said, whoa, that's the real challenge right there. It made me think, and I made the decision, of course, to date my husband, because he's right. Can I do this with somebody else? Am I willing to build with somebody else that's willing to build with me? At that time, marriage was not part of the conversation, but I was open to dating. Again, let me continue before you jump on. Following that statement, it says, husbands, love your wife. So please, don't just find a man out here to submit to you. Find a man that you know is going to love you. But the man has to be respected to love you. It's a reason. And I will talk about that in the future. So a marriage is supposed to represent God's love, his love for the church, and the church love and the respect for Christ. It's like, it's in a reflection. It's a reflection. It's a beautiful reflection. And if you do it right, it definitely overflows. And this is the whole thing God created. It's a blessing. Marriage is a spiritual blessing. You hear me? It's a spiritual blessing. It's not of the world. It is not of the law. It is not of an agreement that you sign at an altar or whatever. It is a spiritual blessing. And God wants you to experience it. And if any of that didn't sell you, the least that you can do to get married for, especially if you're going to be with somebody for decades to come, is marry them at least for their legal benefits. Yes, I know I said it, because I said a lot of spiritual blessings reasons. But if none of that sold you, at least get the physical legal benefits. Because my aunt, she was with somebody for 30 plus years. He died last year. She didn't get nothing. He was a whole veterinarian. She could have been getting his money. You with this man for 30 plus years and you did not marry him, but now he dead, you can't get nothing. Child, please if you want to do the darn thing, just do it legally so you can at least benefit something from it. Didn't P. Diddy ex-girlfriend go through the same thing and didn't get nothing of it? You are not going to get crap. I don't care how much you know this person or how long you've been with this person, how much you claim this person. You ain't getting nothing at the end of the day. So at least get the Social Security or whatever that may have in the future. Listen, get life insurance on the man. I don't care. Get something. Get something that you know. Get something. So that is my rant for today, and I hope it changes your mind. My name is Deona. I go by that wife D. Or becoming that wife. I don't know. By the time I upload this video, I don't know what my IG handle is going to be, because I am going through a whole business program and it's blowing my mind right now. And my life is changing as we're speaking. But I definitely want to get this video out to you guys, and I hope you do not mind my daughter, but I do need to change her diaper. So I hope to see you over there on my Instagram. I share a lot more. And oh yeah, I have a free Facebook group and all that stuff. But definitely subscribe, comment, like, all that good stuff. So bye.